I'm sure some of us are familiar with dissent on a social level or particularly a political level. But what is dissent when it's an internal thing? Dissent, basically by definition, described as a very strong opposing belief, a philosophy. What are we opposing? Well, we're majority. Or even internally, we're opposing our own very strong beliefs up against someone else's very strong beliefs. And that's where we can experience disharmony, disruption, misalignment, obstruction to the flow. It's kind of when we bump up against something that makes us pause and reflect. Something doesn't quite feel right here. Something feels at odds, some might say. And it really is an opportunity, like everything else in life, it's an opportunity to pause and reflect where our beliefs are bumping up against something that might really be a higher truth that we're feeling come to the surface that just isn't matching up somehow in some way. And an opportunity to look at where our energy really is flowing. So when you look at life through the lens of creative force, or a creative process, this is one of those bumps in the road that we can meet up with. We can trip over ourselves, but it's just another opportunity to really examine everything. Examine the situation at hand, the conversation that you're having, society norms, hot political debates. If we aren't open-minded, we can't possibly learn or grow or understand any more about ourselves, how we relate to the world, understand anything about others, and the world as a whole. This human experience is very fascinating, and it's very complex and multi-layered. And if we're not open to really learning anything more than we've learned so far, at the risk of sounding judgy, it's a waste. Life has so much to offer, and there's so much to learn. I always joke that the more I learn there is to learn. It's my way of trying to stay humble and remembering that we do have to have an open mind, even if there are times when we feel so sure about ourselves and our beliefs and our understanding of the world thus far. I mean, there's always so much more. Just by having a conversation with a stranger, a whole new world can open up if your mind is open to receiving a new experience.